Hello there, welcome back to another beautiful sunny day up north. This is a quick look at the thing behind me, and that is a new hydroponics system that I've made. A very simple one that won't require any topping up, and it won't require any electricity to run it as well. So let's take a look. Well, when I say it won't take any electricity, strictly speaking it does, but you don't have to have a grid or a battery. That is a small solar panel, approximately 4 inches square, and it feeds down to a small pump which sits in this automatic top-up drinker that I've got for my hens, who are enjoying rolling about in the muck at the present time. You little devils. So that's the pump in there, tiny little pump, only 200 litres an hour. It only consumes 1.5 watts of power, which on, even a half sunny day is enough to drive it. So that feeds up into here. This is a 4-inch pipe, just an ordinary drainage pipe. It's actually classed as a solvent weld pipe. And in there I've drilled holes for the plants. At the end we've got a little cap on, and it feeds down to 1.25 inch pipe which runs back into the trough. So it's just a self-sustaining system. So as soon as the sun's out, obviously the water in here will get pretty warm, but the pump comes on and helps to keep it cooled down. You can use a white pipe for this. I just wanted to keep it black because everything else down here is pretty dark, and a white pipe would really stand out, and my wife wouldn't be too happy about that. So because I've got this like rubber reducer on here, the water level is maintained at about 1/3 of the height of this pipe. And I'll just take one of these out to show you that. Oh, you maybe can't see it. Just about see the water line on the back wall there. So if the pump goes off, there's still water to water the plants. So this thing's just one of those kids swimming noodles things, and you can see that I've cut it in a certain way so that this little flap in the middle holds the plant, and then because I've taken a section out, it allows it to fit in here perfectly. I normally wouldn't have these foam inserts, that thick. They'd normally be about half that thick, but because it gets quite windy down here, I want plenty of support for the plant. I don't want it just to blow out and end up being eaten by these birds. And on the subject of being eaten by the birds, this was actually set at a height which was a little bit too low. And when I planted these plants, they got shredded by the hens in the space of about an hour. So I've dug a bit of a ditch in here just to increase the height from the ground to the plants, and I haven't bothered them since. The big pipe is just held on by 4-inch clips, which you would just use if you were using this as like a downcomer. That would just fit onto your wall, and the pipe on the bottom is just held on by cable ties, keeping everything really neat and tidy. And this little pump is currently lifting the water about 14 inches maybe from the surface of the water to here, and that's the flow that it's delivering, which is any amount. That's pretty good. And that water isn't particularly warm, just from moving it, it cools it down. And because I've got a mains pipe coming down here from the house, which hasn't been covered up yet, I'm going to put a T on there, tee it off, put a pretty big trough in here, and I'm going to run another system all the way along this top sleeper. I think it's about 26 feet, and it should give me enough space for around about anywhere between 36 to 40 plants all the way along the top of there. Again, that'll just be run from one small pump. So there you go, a very simple system you can put on the side of any shed. In fact, I'm going to be putting one on that side of the shed pretty soon. You can put it on your house wall, you can freestand it, you can do pretty much whatever you want with this very simple system. And it'll only flow when there's sun, but that doesn't matter as long as you've got some water in here. And obviously you're going to be growing plants that don't mind having their roots in water. So in here we've got kale, you can grow lettuce. I've actually got a tomato system in my greenhouse which operates on a similar system, although that one does work on a mains pump. I'll put links to anything useful in the video description if I can find it, because some of this gear I have had lying around for a while. The pipe and the rubber reducer and the bends and so on, actually the vast majority of this I got from Cockney Koi. I'll put a link to their website in the video description and you'll be able to find dealers from there. I get my foams off them, but I tend not to get other stuff to sell. The pump, I think I might have got that one on eBay. It might have been 11 or 12 quid or something. And believe it or not, this little pump in here, I had it in my vegetable garden for probably 2.5 to 3 years. And I just fitted it in one of the troughs and I just let it run, come on and off, never looked at it at all for that whole period of time. It was pretty much clogged up by the time I got to it, but I cleaned it out, set this system up, and it's still working perfectly. You know, for 11 or 12 quid, that is a bloody good buy. And for those of you that think that there doesn't appear to be much water over the top of this pump, you are correct. It's just enough to cover the pump. But it doesn't matter, because if this evaporates, yeah, you hear that? There's an automatic top up in here, so it'll always keep it topped up to that level. When the sun goes in, there will be a little bit of water come back down this pipe, and it'll be just enough to bring this back up near the top. So this never actually overflows. So the minimum water level will be there. Maximum water level, well, I mean, assuming it rains, it'll come down, it'll just overflow, but the maximum water level will be just below the top. One more thing I forgot to say is that there's no nutrients added to that system. When I link up the new trough to that main supply, sit it just down here and run a new system all the way along the top there will be nutrients added to that, because the hens won't be able to get into that container. That one down there is really for the hens to drink out of. Obviously they'll be dropping bits of muck in out their beaks and so on. It'll be enough to keep the kale and lettuce fed, but anything more demanding will need nutrients added in the water. So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.